There has been an ethical dilemma around certain vaccines for a very long time, especially when it comes to the MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, rubella, varicella, Hep A. Some of these vaccines used aborted fetal tissue in the production of the vaccine. Some of them still contain DNA fragments within the vaccine, such as Hep A, Havrix. It tells you right there in the package insert, it may still contain DNA fragments. And for years and years, a lot of religious people were saying, well, that's our only option. We will accept it because it happened, 30, 40, 50 years ago, but we will not accept this moving forward. And then COVID happened. And COVID scared them back into line and said, you will take this medication. You will take this vaccination. We only have this option. Things like AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson used those aborted fetal cell lines to create their newer vaccines. Now, Pfizer and Moderna did not use aborted fetal tissue in the production of their vaccines, but they did use it to test their vaccines on human fetal tissue. So it's interesting that for decades, a lot of religious or just people who had an ethical issue with the use of aborted fetal tissue in vaccines said, well, as long as we're vocal and we don't do it in the future, we'll be okay. And then they just rolled up their sleeves and said, I know that I stand against this. And they basically said, don't do this. I don't like aborted fetal tissue in my vaccines, but I'm so scared of a disease. Go ahead and do it anyway. And of course, manufacturers are not going to change the way they've been making vaccines for decades if people are just going to roll over and roll up their sleeves. So instead of accepting the ethical dilemma of vaccines because you're scared of a disease, let's demand that they make more ethical vaccines. In fact, they do. In Japan, they have a measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine that is made ethically without aborted fetal tissue in it. Can we get those? Hey, RFK Jr., can we get those vaccines in the United States? So if we're having a public health crisis, if we're scared of measles or we're scared of rubella when we're pregnant, can we get those vaccines for the people who actually care about the ethics of how their vaccines are made? They are made ethically elsewhere. Why can't we do that here? And instead of demanding, but then rolling up our sleeves, let's demand and say no until they do it right.